Ever since I brought home my new Malinois puppy, people have been acting like I adopted a demon. Every trip to the store, someone stops me to say, "You're insane," or "Oh, I could never own one of those dogs." But the truth is, raising one of these dogs is nowhere near what the internet makes it out to be. So let's talk about what it's actually like. The biggest struggle that people have with Malinois puppies is the biting. And even for me, someone who bought a Mal specifically for this trait, it was still a little bit overwhelming at first. A Malinois puppy's mouth is like a magnet. Anything that moves, anything that hangs, anything that comes near it, they're on it. Arms, legs, hands, clothing, all of it. But here's the thing, it's not actually that hard to manage. You basically just need to give them something to carry around. I bring Tommy's ball with me anytime he leaves his crate. Potty breaks, field trips, anything, and it cuts the biting way down. Think of it like a pacifier for a baby. It doesn't totally eliminate all of the crying, but it sure does help. I don't want to get too deep into the nuts and bolts of this exactly, but I did make a whole video going over this particular topic, so I'll leave a link somewhere up here. People are terrified of Malinois energy, and to be fair, yeah, they have a lot of it. But so do most puppies. But the real issue is this. Most people aren't raising puppies with any sort of intentionality in the first place. There's no crate schedule. They're free roaming the house. There's no supervision, no engagement. With this kind of setup, literally any puppy is gonna be an absolute nightmare. A lab, a golden retriever, a doodle, it doesn't matter. In our training business, we see the same pattern constantly. People let their puppy loose in the house all day long with no supervision, and then they wonder why they're having accidents and the dog's chewing things up all the time. If you adopt the basic lifestyle that's gonna be required for any puppy, a Malinois is not really gonna be much different. People obsess over physical exercise for their dogs, trying to burn off energy. You cannot out-exercise their genetics. No matter how much you run them, they will just adapt and come back stronger. Then you're stuck with a high-energy dog that's also a jacked little athlete. What these dogs really need is purpose, problem-solving, engagement, work. This is a working breed. They were created to bite, chase, track, and think. If you don't give them mental work and identity, your Malinois becomes a mess. Your love alone isn't going to be enough for them. This might be the most important point here. Now I'll preface this, good genetics are always very important, but with a Mal, they're non-negotiable. And real quick, let's clear this up. Purebred does not mean good genetics. Just because your brother, uncle, cousin had 2 AKC registered Malinois and made some puppies on a whim, doesn't mean that the puppies are gonna be any good. And yeah, some people do roll the dice on a rescue Malinois and everything's great. That's awesome, you got lucky, but that definitely is the exception. When a Malinois has sketchy genetics or a weird temperament, those issues are multiplied. You're talking about a highly capable, highly intelligent dog that was bred to bite things. If something's a little off, it's not gonna just look like some quirky lab. You're gonna have a real problem on your hands. So do your research, find a reputable breeder, write the check. Don't skimp out on this one. And if you are a rescue person, I respect the hell out of you, but just understand what is at stake with this breed. Now I know this sounds like a lot, but outside of managing the mouthiness, everything I've talked about is stuff you should already be doing with any puppy of any breed. And that was my biggest realization in my first month with Tommy. He's a very nice, very powerful, very capable and confident puppy, but it's still just another puppy. And just like with any puppy, taking these extra steps actually ends up making your life a whole lot easier. Imagine you get a new puppy, it never chews anything up, you never have an accident on the floor. It follows a predictable schedule. And when you bring them out, you guys have fun, you play together, you go in the yard, you play with the ball. You do all of the things that you probably envisioned you doing when you wanted to go get a new puppy in the first place. That's what you get when you raise a Malinois correctly. It really doesn't have to be the big, arduous struggle that everyone seems to think it is. For me, I take Tommy to Ohio twice a week for ring training, and it's pretty much the highlight of my week. I absolutely love it. And he gets what he needs too, because he has the purpose. He's already got to go out to potty at least 5 or 6 times a day, sometimes in the middle of the night too. That's a perfect opportunity to go out and play with him a little bit. And like I said, he's already carrying that ball around to stop him from being a Tasmanian devil. And even with having a crazy Malinois puppy, plus 2 GSPs and multiple client dogs, our house is still pretty peaceful. You don't need to be some sort of dog whispering superstar to own one of these dogs. All you need is basic structure, a purpose for the dog, and some good genetics go a long way too. If you need help with training, business, or Malinois ownership, I have coaching calls available, links are in the description. We also have limited board and train spots available if you want a more hands-on program. Just send me an email for all training inquiries, also down below. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.